Hey guys, Teflex. So I've been using the M1 MacBook Pro for like 5-6 months now, and prior to getting the M1 MacBook Pro, I used to edit on my Windows PC, which I no longer have anymore. Now, 5-6 months ago, I was a complete beginner. I mean, I'm still a beginner, but I've learned a lot of stuff. Now, I was kind of looking back on everything that I've learned and how fast I was able to learn all the stuff. I kind of realized that the M1 MacBook Pro actually played a very big role in that process. Now, it's easy to learn any skill. In fact, YouTube should be a college because most of the things that I know I actually learned from YouTube. In fact, I don't even listen to my professors in school because I know there's going to be someone on YouTube that's going to explain it better. And that's how good YouTube is. Now, it's something to learn a skill, and it's a different thing to actually put that skill into practice. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for me, anytime I learn a skill, either from someone or from YouTube or from any source, me learning that skill at that moment is I'm almost kind of storing all that knowledge in like a temporary storage, almost like a RAM. But when I start putting it into practice, that's when it starts to store permanently in my head. For example, you can learn how to cook a food online, but if you don't have the ingredient or even don't have the kitchen or something like that, I mean, you could learn all the steps and everything, but when it comes to like bringing the food to life, you might not even know how to do it. Now, how does cooking relate to the M1 MacBook Pro, you might ask? Over the past couple of months, I've learned a lot of stuff about video editing, cameras, lighting, color grading, and all that stuff. And the M1 MacBook Pro actually helps me to practice everything that I've learned, help me to visualize my work, and it actually does it smoothly. For example, I'm learning how to shoot and expose S-Log3 on my Sony a7S III, and it takes a lot of practice. Now, after I shoot it on my camera, I'm able to take it to my M1 MacBook Pro and apply everything that I've learned, like color grading, animation, applying plugin, speed ramping, and all that stuff, and it makes the process so smooth. And because of that, I'm able to learn a new thing every single day. Now, if the M1 MacBook Pro is not as powerful as it is, it's going to make the process a little bit slower. It's going to add some friction to my learning process, and that's not really a good thing because I won't be able to learn as fast as I am right now. Now, you're not going to be able to appreciate the power of the M1 MacBook Pro unless you're coming from a non-M1 MacBook Pro. In fact, before I got the M1 MacBook Pro, I was using a PC, like I said, and I was also using the 13-inch MacBook Pro, which is the Intel-based MacBook Pro. It's like the M1 MacBook Pro and the Intel-based MacBook Pro are made by different companies. Like the difference between them is just massive. Now, am I saying gear actually matters in your learning process? Yes, but to some extent. I mean, there's like a lower boundary and there's like an upper boundary. Obviously, if you have a PC that was released in 2001 or 2005, you don't expect it to run Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere Pro smoothly. And on the other side, on the upper end, you don't have to buy like a Mac Pro, a $16,000 iMac Pro, whatever it's called. But for the most part, everything in the upper center is going to make a massive difference from your low-end PC or your low-end MacBook Pro. When it comes to performance, the M1 MacBook Pro just gets the job done, at least for my workflow. And I shoot 4K videos. I shoot 4K videos at 24, 60, and 120 frames per second. And the M1 MacBook Pro just gets the job done. Like everything just runs smoothly, applying color grading, animation. 4K 120 frames per second is not something that any laptop can just handle without feeling it. I mean, even 4K in general is not something that any laptop can just do without getting hot or something like that. And speaking of getting hot, the M1 MacBook Pro actually surprises me when it comes to heat management. The heat management on the M1 MacBook Pro is just out of this world. Like I've used a lot of laptops, including Apple laptops, Windows laptop, and all kinds of laptops. The heat management is just crazy. Like ever since I've gotten the M1 MacBook Pro, the fan has never kicked up once, and my room right now is hot. Like I don't know if you guys can see me sweating like this, but I'm always editing all my 4K videos in this same room that I'm sweating in right now. And the M1 Pro just doesn't get hot. It's just mind-blowing. The M1 Pro always make me feel like a professional. You know, it feels good to have a laptop or a PC or any computer. You know, that feeling that your computer or your laptop can handle anything you throw at it is a very, very good feeling. The M1 MacBook Pro just give me the feeling like whatever you throw at me, I'm going to be able to handle it. And it feels very good. Like, I mean, I'm still a beginner, but sometimes I'm always feeling like, yeah, I'm a professional. I'm editing 4K videos, 4K 24, 60, and 120, and my laptop is handling it like, yeah, yeah. That feeling is actually very good. Right now, I'm really happy with the M1 MacBook Pro, and I'm going to recommend it to anyone. In fact, I'm going to recommend it to my worst enemy because the M1 MacBook Pro just makes everything so much faster. I'm learning at a very, very fast rate because of the M1 MacBook Pro. Anyways, I just thought I should just share my opinion on the M1 MacBook Pro. This is not like a regular review. I just thought I should share my thoughts on the M1 MacBook Pro. Anyways, I really appreciate you guys for taking your time to watch my video. It's been your boy 11, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.
Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up.